Hey, Zalka, good to see you. Everyone, welcome. It's time for Twitter Scope. And let me get that situated. There, that's a little better. It is time for Twitter Scope, episode 71, with the daily Twitter Topes with Twitter Topes. Oh, this is going to be a long one. Twitter Scope with, hi, Darcy, with tips today. We're talking about content. My name is Dawn E. Carter. Happy Thursday. At decart on the socials. You can follow me there. You can use the hashtag of Twitter Scope, and I will answer your questions. We are here every day pushing back the veil of ignorance that surrounds Twitter. I bet you guys could say that with me now. If you're catching us on the replay, welcome. We've been here every single day, and we are going over Twitter basics, Twitter etiquette. If you're new to Twitter, you found your place. We love newbies here. So today we are going to actually talk, a lot of times I'm talking about how to make your profile look good, how to interact with people, and some of the basics surrounding that if you're new, especially if you're using Twitter for your business, to grow your prospects, to grow your tribe, to connect with potential buyers, to network with people across your industry. That's the application for Twitter. So if you're looking to Twitter to talk about the Emmys and be rude to people, this is not the scope for you. Go ahead and share this out if you would like. You can catch all the old scopes at catch.me/decart. And let's dive into that. Today we are talking about what the heck do I tweet about? What am I supposed to? So I'm on Twitter. How do I find content? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm going to give you really a few quick tips, maybe things you've thought of already, and it's probably things you're doing already. But if not, if you're able to take away one practical thing that you can do that will help increase your followers, increase your engagement, or help drive sales to whatever it is you're doing, your sales or service, I have succeeded. So number one, your own business behind the scenes. This is something that a lot of business people do not realize may be of interest to other people. You'd think, well, why would tweeting about something behind the scenes be even remotely interested? Well, sometimes we get so close to our own business, we get so close to what it is we're producing, the services we offer, that we forget that, you know what, the whole world doesn't know about what it is, whatever our it is. Give you an example. Yesterday, I got to go out to UC Riverside, which is University of California, Riverside. Huge, beautiful citrus collection of all these crazy, amazing citrus, lemons and oranges. Well, I got to go with a local brewery, Wix. Yeah, they get emotionally involved. That's right. That's a great point. So someone on the scope said people get emotionally involved. They have some kind of investment in you because you're sharing some of that. So yesterday, like I said, I went to the orange groves with a local brewery, Wix Brewery, little shout out, Wix Brewery here in Riverside, and they went and picked oranges for one of their beer brews. So you would think, so what's the big thing about that? Well, that is content. A lot of times people don't think, wow, I mean, think about this. If you're interested in craft breweries or eat local, buy local or something like that, that is content. And this is, in my mind, as a content strategist, that's gold. That's a way for people to connect with what it is that you make, what it is you do. So as something as simple as shooting a photograph and tweeting about it is an example of content. And again, that's one example of behind the scenes business. I mean, they're going to be zesting the oranges later. It is hard for a hospital. Absolutely. But there might be parts of a hospital that are, intriguing to the general public, how do you find those cute scrubs? I don't know. I mean, there's got to be something, within. And one of the sources for that, especially, it's a great point that someone just brought up. What if you're in an industry that you can't be showing behind the scenes? Well, then talk to your friends and family. What are the questions they're curious about? What's it like to work in a hospital? Or what, things like that, where obviously you're not crossing confidentiality issues. But find out, pick the brains of your friends and family. What are you curious about the industry that I'm in? I mean, you might be surprised because sometimes we just get so into our own industry, we don't realize that people might find it fascinating. So number two, again, we're talking about how do we find content to tweet out. So point number one was your own businesses behind the scenes. If you're in the music industry, maybe there are people that have never seen what a soundboard looks like. Maybe there are people that have never seen what a rehearsal looks like. So again, behind the scenes. Number two, add value or expertise. Another example that I saw yesterday. So I'm doing some work for a local food systems co-op. Yeah, exactly. Do what you love. I love that. I mean, that's exactly the phrase, because as you are talking about something that you love, that's going to come across. Now, obviously, it's going to come across more in the video format, like Periscope or Blab. Twitter, you can still talk about what you love. So number two, the point was adding value and expertise. So there was another website or another profile that I followed, and they were about community gardens and master gardeners. And you know what their tweets were? They were planting tips. Simple planting tips for November. Hey, be sure and do this. December, do this. I was out in a community garden at UC Riverside yesterday, and someone who's just an old-time gardener, just an amazing wealth of information. He goes, well, you know, in Southern California right now, especially in Riverside, you got to be putting those bulbs in. I didn't know that, but for people that are close to their expert, you know, that know their stuff, that's like, well, who doesn't know that? Well, I'll tell you, most of Twitter does not know that. So look at what your own expertise, your own value is, and just tweet that out. Something as ridiculously simple as what is something that you know that you just assume everyone else knows. That is a great place to start. So again, remember, we're talking about content, but content that comes from you. So those are two sources of your own original content. And of course, you can send links out to your newsletter or announcements about events. Of course, those are good things to do. I'm trying to help you think outside the box. And then number three, find interesting content or find interesting information that would appeal to the tribe that's following you. So remember, and how do you know who's following you? Remember, it all comes back to what you tweet and what your profile says. It's that expectation. Hey, I'm going to be tweeting about craft brew. Then go ahead and find interesting content about ingredients or hops or recipe or whatever. So the last point is find interesting content. Dawn, you say, how do we find interesting content? Good question. I'm glad you asked. I could actually do a whole nother scope on that, but real quick, let me give you 3 places. So we've talked about 2 ways to come up with your own stuff that you may not have thought of. The third way is find interesting stuff to retweet, to tweet out to other people. Always with attribution. Remember what we said, you always give credit to who it is, whose stuff it is you're tweeting. So number 1, one source, BuzzFeed. Number 2, Sprout Social. 3, Nuzzle. And 4, Feedly. Take a screenshot of this. Oh, you know what I need is this. Here we go. I get to use the hand. Take a screenshot right there. That was a moment for you. Okay. These are 4 places, 3 of which I use, actually. I use Sprout Social, Nuzzle, and I'm beginning to use Feedly. And what these are places where you can go and put in a hashtag or a keyword. And remember that all that word is just, oh, hey, thanks for sharing that, Michelle. And I have to give a shout out to Madeline Sklar and Adele DeMeyer. Amazing Twitter ladies. So guys, if you're not following these 2, please give them a shout out. Or give them a follow, because I learned so much. And I actually jump on to blab about Twitter with them, usually on Tuesdays, and we just talk about Twitter. That's what we do. Anyway, so use these sources. And what these are going to search for keywords or hashtags that are relevant to your audience. So, for instance, someone mentioned a hospital. So maybe healthcare. Maybe you're into food. Maybe organic farming. Organic cooking. Maybe it is craft beer. Whatever your industry is. Chiropractic care. You know, whatever. Use the hashtag to search for content that would be interesting to people that are probably going to be your prospects. So that is the easiest way to not sit there. I mean, nobody wants to sit in front of Twitter for hours looking up content, right? That would be insane, and it's a waste of your time. So, okay, real quick, we have talked today about how do I find stuff to tweet about. We talked about 2 examples, 2 ways to use your own content. Thanks for the info, taking a little bit to realize how singularly directed Twitter is. Oh, great, yeah. So, number 1, behind the scenes business tips, or behind the scenes business scenes, things that you're close to that other people might find fascinating. Number 2, add value or expertise. Do you have seasonal information that you give out? Go ahead and use that stuff. And remember, the things that you are tweeting out, not everyone in your timeline is going to see that. So don't be afraid. Don't spam it, but go ahead and experiment with different times of days. Or, you can schedule those things out using a tool like Sprout Social or Buffer. So experiment, hey, I sent my little tips out in the morning. I'm going to try sending them out in the afternoon and see what your responses are and stuff. So, but whatever it is you do with your content, don't forget to interact, because Twitter is about interaction. So even if you're sending good content out or behind the scenes tips on Twitter, say someone retweets you or says, hey, thanks for the tip, always engage. Because remember, social media is about social, right? So we want to automate and find the content we need to spread out so that we can spend a little more time. Again, don't let it become a time suck, but you need to be interacting with the people that are interacting with your content, because as someone said earlier on the scope, it's an emotional connection. And it feels good to have someone say thank you, right? So if you are sending out information, someone says thank you, say you're welcome or glad you're following, just come up with something trite, but that interacts. So anyway, that is it for Twitter Scope today. Every single day we're here pushing back the veil of ignorance that surrounds Twitter, especially Twitter as it's used for businesses and brands. My name is Dawn Cart. Dawn Cart. That's not my name. My name's Dawn Carter. Yeah, you know you're bad when you start referring to your name yourself by your Twitter name. You can catch all the old episodes of Twitter Scope on catch.me/decart. I will see you guys tomorrow. Friday is always Friday. No, I was going to say Friday Funday. Tomorrow's Follow Friday. So we go over a Twitter account that I think is killing it on Twitter, and I tell you why, so that we can copy what they do and make our Twitter accounts better. So thank you, everyone, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Or if not, I will catch you on the socials. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.